Dear students, welcome to Sri E-Class Physics. Today we are going to see third application of the Gauss theorem. In earlier classes, you have seen Gauss theorem first two applications. One is electric field due to infinitely long wire. Second one is electric field due to thin sheet, infinitely thin sheet. Now we are going to see the electric field due to thin charged spherical shell, uniformly charged thin spherical shell. Shell is only there in the syllabus, solid sphere is not there in the syllabus of the CBSE. However, solid sphere is there for the competitive examinations. You can prepare from the other sources. As we have to have the classes for CBSE, I am taking up only this spherical shell. Okay, now let us go to the notes. Let us take up the topic electric field due to charged spherical shell, uniformly charged spherical shell. We are going to take up. This is the third case. Let me explain here with the diagram, that is introductory diagram first. Let us consider a shell, hollow, whose radius is capital R. Radius of this shell is capital R. It is having a positive charge like this. Around it, on the top of it. Now, we are going to find out from here, from the center of the circle, at a distance of R, means from center of the circle at a distance of R here. Our aim is to find out electric field at this point P, which is at a distance of R. If you observe carefully here in this figure, you will find out that R is greater than capital R. Here you must know the clear difference between the small r and capital R. Small r is the distance of the point P, where we would like to find out the electric field. Capital R is the radius of the spherical shell. Do not interchange this one at the time of learning and at the time of examination also. It confuses. Now let us consider here at point where we would like to find out electric field. For that, what we do is that, as you know, we have seen earlier cases. First we will consider a Gaussian surface around it. This Gaussian surface. You see that Gaussian surface. This Gaussian surface also will be in the spherical form. Already I told you that Gaussian surface is the surface where at each and every point electric field is same. Okay. Now, I mean to say, whether you find the electric field here, whether you find electric field here, electric field, anywhere it will be the same. However, conveniently I am taking a point over here. Okay. Now, to find out this, as I told just now, here this is the center of the circle. P is at a distance of R. Electric field, as it is a positive charge, will be in this direction. You see, electric field will be in this direction. That you have to remember. Now, for that, what we do is that we consider a small elementary area here. Small area I am considering here at this point here. This small area will have the area vector like this. Area vector is indicated by ds bar, you know very well. Electric field is indicated here by E bar. Okay. Now, what is the angle between this E bar and ds bar? Just you see and tell me. They are in the same direction. Therefore, we can say that here theta is equal to 0 between this E bar and ds bar. That you have to remember. Okay. This is the diagram which we are going to take up. Once again, quickly I repeat it. Observe carefully. Our aim is to find out electric field due to uniformly charged spherical shell by using the Gauss theorem. This is the third application. Let us say what is this. First, we consider a shell here. This is the shell. Okay, the shell's radius is capital R, that you have to remember. Center is O, and our aim is to find out the electric field. Let us consider a point P which is at a distance of center O. Sorry, from the center O it is at a distance of small r. This is the Gaussian surface. You remember this is a Gaussian surface. For the sake of understanding, I am writing again. Already I told you what is Gaussian surface. This is the Gaussian surface. This figure, I think it is clear. Further, electric field is in this direction. Area, elementary area vector ds is also in this direction. Theta is also equal to 0 because both are in the same direction. This is the figure. Now, let us see the derivation here. To see the derivation, let us follow that. First, the flux passing through the Gaussian surface is given by, I am writing that notes also. The flux, electric flux passing through Gaussian surface is given by phi it is equal to surface integral. Here my dear students, I'd like to tell you these two looks like the symbols same, but you remember this we call it as a phi. Phi I'll tell you for the sake of understanding, or phi also. Whereas this is the surface integral, you remember this is called surface integral. For the sake of understanding, I am writing. In the examination you need not write it. For the sake of clarification only I am writing. Looks like the same. Whenever you are writing the notes, write clearly surface integral का yes clearly लिख दीजिए, circle लिख दीजिएगा, phi ऐसा लिख दीजिएगा please. And surface integral E dot ds. This is the formula which you have learnt it in the basic definition of the flux. Okay. Therefore, you can say that phi is equal to surface integral E ds cos theta. Here theta is 0. Therefore, it will become surface integral E ds only. Cos 0 is equal to 1, you know very well. I don't want to mention clearly again, that you know very well. So far, you are able to understand. Okay. Now, here surface integral E dot ds, for the sake of convenience I'll take E outside because E is a constant for this surface integral ds I am writing here. What is surface integral ds? Ds is in this diagram. Ds is this elementary area on the sphere, a small piece of area I have considered. Surface integral ds means this entire sphere's Gaussian surface area will come here. You know, by the diagram you can say that surface integral ds is equal to, it will be equal to 4 pi r square. You must be very careful here. R square means not the sphere radius you have to take. You have to take the Gaussian surface radius, because we are talking about the radius of this one. I think I have followed. You must be very careful. So, phi integral ds is equal to, as I explained, surface integral ds is equal to 4 pi r square. This I will substitute here. Then what happens? Phi will be equal to E into 4 pi r square. If you observe carefully, that we have got it the flux. This is flux, electric flux we have got. This electric flux equation phi is equal to electric field multiplied by the 4 pi r square. Let us consider this as a equation number 1. Are you able to understand? This is the first part of the derivation. I told you already many times that whenever you are preparing for the examinations, if any big derivations are there, you make the derivations into parts and then continue it. Now I will go to the second part. In the second part, we are going to take a Gauss theorem. According to Gauss theorem, you know very well phi is equal to q by epsilon naught. But we know very well here q is equal to sigma a, because already we have seen sigma is equal to q by a. From that only it has come. So what we do is that we will substitute here sigma a in this q. So phi is equal to sigma a by epsilon naught. I think you understood this sigma and sigma a and all those things. Here a stands for the area of this sphere area. If r is the radius, what is the area of the sphere? Area of the sphere is equal to 4 pi r square. For the clarity's sake, I am talking about this A is the area of the sphere. Why? Because this sigma, that is surface charge density. Surface charge density is applicable to the sphere taken, not Gaussian surface. Therefore, we are taking 4 pi r square here for the area. I repeat it, for A we are taking 4 pi r square. Therefore, we can say that phi is equal to sigma into 4 pi capital R square by epsilon naught. Okay, this I consider it as a equation number 2. This is from the Gauss theorem, we have got it. Observe carefully. So, from the applying the mathematics and physics to this Gaussian surface, we have got it here, this one. Now, according to Gauss theorem, we have got this one. Both are flux only. This is also flux, this is also flux. Therefore, we can, from this first equation and second equation, we can equate the RHS of this and RHS of this. Observe carefully. Here, if you take it up, now we'll say I'll continue here, you see. Then what happens from equation 1 and 2? From equation 1 and 2, we say that E into 4 pi, you must be very careful, small r square is equal to sigma into 4 pi capital R square by epsilon naught. I think I understood. In the first one, 4 pi small r square is there, that I have written here. Gauss theorem, here whatever you have got it, sigma 4 pi r square by epsilon 0, I have written it here. If you observe carefully, we will find that this 4 pi cancel each other. Then if these 4 pi and 4 pi are cancelling each other, I can say that electric field E is equal to sigma by epsilon 0. This sigma and this epsilon 0 I am writing. Now we should not write 4 pi, already got cancelled. This capital R square is there. This capital R square, write it clearly, by small r square. This is the small r square here. This is the expression for electric field due to uniformly charged spherical shell. This is scalar form. This is a scalar form. Whereas in the vector form, we write it E bar is equal to sigma by epsilon 0 r square by small r square. We write it r cap. For the sake of understanding, I will go to the figure. You see, r cap is in this direction, like this, r cap. I write it here, r cap here, from here to here. Only 1 unit distance, r cap. So, this is a vector form. This is a scalar form. For the clarity's sake, I write it here. In the examination, sometimes they may ask to write the scalar form and vector form. You write this is a vector form. Now I think you have understood this one. This is case number 1 for the spherical shell. Just you see this. Okay. Now, dear students, I have to tell you one thing, that this is case number 1 where small r is greater than capital R. I mentioned it here, but I have not written it as a case number 1. So I would like to write there. Now I would like to take up case number 2 where the point P lies on the shell. I write it here. When point P lies on shell. If lies on the shell, then what happens? Small r will be equal to capital R. Here small r will be equal to capital R. Go to the diagram. Let us see that. In the first case, small r is greater than the capital R. So it was lying outside. We have written it here when point was lying outside. When point P lies inside of the on the shell, small r is equal to capital R. Okay. Now observe carefully here. In this, small r is equal to capital R. What we do is that we will take up the same expression whichever is there. In that we will substitute in place of small r capital R. Let us see what happens here. E is equal to sigma by epsilon 0 capital R square by again capital R square, because small r is equal to capital R. So you know very well it gets cancelled. Finally we can say that it implies that E is equal to, simply we are going to get sigma by epsilon 0. So in case 2, when point P lies on the shell itself, we get this expression. This is the expression for this case. You remember. Okay. Now we will go to the case 3. Case 3 is a very interesting case. Let us see what is that interesting case. That is, case 3 is when point P lies inside of the shell, inside of the shell. When point P lies inside of the shell, let us go to the diagram here. Here, using the pencil, I'd like to show here. Here, inside means somewhere here. Okay, let us say here. So, if point P, third case I am talking about, it lies inside of the shell, we have to take the Gaussian surface like this. If you take the Gaussian surface like this, the charge will not be inside of the Gaussian surface, whereas outside of the Gaussian surface. According to the Gauss theorem, charge must be there inside of the surface. In the definition you see, enclosed in the surface. So if it is there like this, we can say that inside of this Gaussian surface, charge is 0. I repeat it, inside of the Gaussian surface, charge is 0, because the entire charge is outside. When entire charge is outside, then Q is to be taken 0. For this, if Q is equal to 0, if you take it up, you know very well, E into 4 pi r square will become to 0. That is, you know, we have seen E into 4 pi r square first case. Here, Q itself is 0, you see here. The phi will become, according to Gauss theorem, phi will be 0. Therefore, we are saying that E into 4 pi r square is equal to 0. Then, therefore, electric field will be 0 for the third case, that when P lies on the shell, when P lies inside of the shell, E is equal to 0. I think you have followed this one. Now, let us consider here the three cases once again. Let us see one after the other quickly here. Okay, I explain all the three cases once again quickly. Please listen carefully. First case, small r is greater than capital R, means that point P is lying outside of the spherical shell. I have written it here. When point P lies outside of the shell. That is the first case. Second case we are going to take up afterwards. That is when P lies on the spherical shell. And third case is that P lies on the shell. Second case is P lies on the shell. Third case is when P lies inside of the shell. All these three cases briefly I will explain. Diagram already I explained. Now, flux passing through the Gaussian surface is given by phi is equal to surface integral E dot ds. This surface integral is from the definition of the electric flux which you have taken. See the difference between these two symbols very carefully. Now, phi is equal to surface integral EDS cos theta, but theta is equal to 0, we know very well. Now, E is constant for this. E is equal to surface integral ds. Surface integral ds is equal to 4 pi r square. I told you that r is the radius of the Gaussian surface, not the sphere you have to take, because we are applying this one for the Gaussian surface. Then, if we take this as a equation number 1, which is after substituting the 4 pi r square, you take it as a equation number 1. Phi is equal to E into 4 pi r square. Now, according to Gauss theorem, phi is equal to q by epsilon 0, q is equal to sigma a, you substitute it here, then it will become phi is equal to sigma a by epsilon 0. Here, a is 4 pi r square. This a represents the area of the spherical shell, not the Gaussian surface. Gaussian surface area we take here, area of the spherical shell we take here. After taking of this one, we get equation phi is equal to this sigma as it is, a 4 pi r square by sigma 0. This is according to Gauss theorem. We have got it. Whereas this one we got it from the applying the mathematics to this diagram. Now, these two equations we equated. E into 4 pi r square is equal to sigma 4 pi r square by epsilon 0, these two. Then 4 pi gets cancelled. E is equal to sigma by epsilon 0 r square by this r square. If you bring, this will come to this side. Observe carefully, 4 pi is not there now. It is a scalar form. Vector form, if you write it, you have to put arrow mark here. You multiply with the unit vector. This is the unit vector representing along the direction of this electric field. Already I told you that one. Now we have case 2 when P lies on the shell. When P lies on the shell here, then what happens? The small r and capital R will be equal. The small r and capital R are equal. Therefore, small r is equal to capital R. If you substitute, it will become r square. Then r square gets cancelled. Case 3 is when P lies inside the shell. We have to take Q is equal to 0 as I explained just now. That P, it will be inside. Charge is outside. Therefore, here in the Gaussian surface, no charge is there. Therefore, we will take it as a Q is equal to 0. E into 4 pi r square is equal to 0. Finally, E is equal to 0 for third case. So, first case, second case, third case, electric fields are there here. Just you see. Once again, first case, second case, third case. Okay. See, these are the three cases of the electric field due to uniformly charged spherical shell. In the examination, it is important. Any one case they are asking, or otherwise all the cases they are asking. Numerical problems are also important. Better today itself you learn this one by taking the notes. If you have any doubt, we'll discuss it in the classroom. Okay. Now all of you please go through and give the remarks. Dear students, today I have covered this electric field due to uniformly charged spherical shell, three cases. Already two cases we have completed. All these three cases are important. Please prepare well, seriously. and learn these three concepts. Okay, all of you give your comment with your name in the YouTube channel. Thank you very much.